The call came at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. I was still at my desk, spreadsheets burning my retinas, when Mom's ringtone shattered the silence. My stomach dropped. She never calls this late. Harper, baby, I'm so sorry to wake you. Her voice trembled. I heard Dad in the background, his usual stoic tone cracking with what sounded like, was he crying? What's wrong? I sat up straighter, fully awake now. The furnace, it's completely dead. And the roof, oh God, Harper, it's been leaking for months. We tried to handle it ourselves, but... She broke into sobs. We're drowning. The bank. They're talking foreclosure. I'm Harper, by the way. 29, financial analyst, and apparently the family's perpetual safety net. The responsible one. The strong one. The one who's been working 60-hour weeks for 3 years to save for her own house, but who's about to do something monumentally stupid. How much? I asked, already pulling up my banking app. Dad came on the line. Princess, we can't ask you. How much, Dad? The silence stretched. Finally, 27,000. My entire house fund. Every extra shift, every skipped vacation, every brown bag lunch. I stared at my laptop screen, at the bookmark labeled Dream House Listings. The contractor needs half up front, Mom added quickly. We've tried everything else. Your father's been picking up extra shifts at the warehouse, but his back. I'm transferring it now, I said, fingers moving automatically. Text me the account number. More crying, more gratitude. Dad's voice thick with emotion. You're an angel, sweetheart. We'll pay you back every penny, I swear. I ended the call and sat in my dark apartment, watching the confirmation screen blink. $27,000. Gone. But they're my parents, right? What else could I do? The next morning, I called my boyfriend Max. You did what? He nearly choked on his coffee. They needed help, I said, defensive. You should have heard Dad crying. Babe, that was your house fund. We were going to look at that Craftsman next weekend. I know. I pressed my forehead against the cool kitchen counter. But they're about to lose everything. Mom said they've been sleeping in the basement because the upstairs is so cold. Max was quiet for a moment. Okay, but promise me you'll get everything in writing. Payment plan, timeline, all of it. I promised. But when I texted Dad about it later, he seemed hurt. Don't you trust us, Princess? We're family. The guilt was instant, crushing. Of course I trusted them. They'd raised me, sacrificed for me. Asking for paperwork felt wrong. 3 weeks passed. Radio silence from my parents. But I assumed they were busy with contractors. I threw myself into work, trying not to think about my decimated savings account. Then came the Instagram notification. Sage Ortiz tagged you in a post. My sister. Whatever. Probably another inspirational quote or smoothie bowl. I almost didn't check it. But I did. The first photo? Saige in a flowing dress, twirling in front of the Coliseum. Caption, Roma, I'm in love. My thumb froze. What? I scrolled. Photo after photo appeared. Saige in a gondola in Venice. Saige wine tasting in Tuscany. Saige at the Trevi Fountain, at the Spanish Steps, at some coastal town I couldn't pronounce. Caption, Can't believe I'm living my bucket list dream, thanks Mom and Dad. The timestamp. 2 days after my transfer. My phone slipped from my numb fingers. The room spun. $27,000. My house fund. Their emergency. Her dream vacation. I called Mom. Straight to voicemail. I called Dad. Same thing. I texted both. Need to talk about the house repairs. Now. Mom replied an hour later. Oh, sweetie, it wasn't that expensive to fix. Don't worry about it. I stared at my phone, bile rising in my throat. The furnace, the roof, the foreclosure, the tears. All of it, every single word, had been a lie. My hands shook as I opened my banking app again. The transfer was there, mocking me. Emergency house repairs. Mom and Dad. Except it wasn't for repairs. It was for my little sister's Italian adventure, the Golden Child's bucket list trip, funded by the responsible daughter's dreams. My phone buzzed. Another Instagram notification. Saige, posting a sunset over the Amalfi Coast. Blessed best parents, ever living my best life. Something inside me snapped, clean and sharp, like a bone breaking. They wanted to play games? Fine. I opened my laptop and started taking screenshots. Every lie, every text, every transfer. My hands weren't shaking anymore. This wasn't over. Not by a long shot. I spent the next 3 hours in a social media spiral, screenshots piling up like evidence at a crime scene. Every photo, every location, every timestamp. It was all there, documenting exactly how my parents had spent my house fund. My phone rang. Max. "You're scaring me," he said. "You've been liking posts from 2 years ago. What's going on?" They lied. My voice sounded strange, distant. The furnace wasn't broken. The roof wasn't leaking. They took my money and sent Saiji to Italy. Silence. Then, "I'm coming over." While waiting for Max, I dug deeper. The trip wasn't just Italy. There were posts from Greece, too. Shopping bags from designer stores. 5-star hotels. Each photo felt like a slap. A memory surfaced. Mom's voice from my childhood. "Saigi deserves more because she's sensitive and you're strong." I pulled out my old journals from the closet, flipping through pages of teenage angst until I found it. There it was, written in purple gel pen. "Mom says Saig needs more support because she's delicate. I guess being responsible means I don't need anything." Max arrived with coffee and a determined look. "We're calling them. Right now. Speakerphone." Mom answered on the 4th ring. "Harper, what a surprise. How was the contractor, Mom?" My voice was ice. "Oh, they did a wonderful job." "Really?" Because Saige's Instagram shows her drinking Prosecco in Venice exactly 2 days after I transferred my money. "The money you said was for emergency repairs." Silence. Then, "Sweetie, you don't understand. Try me. We had already planned the trip for Sege. She's been so stressed with work lately, and you know how sensitive she is. So you lied to me? Pretended you were about to lose the house? Harper, please." Her voice shifted, honeyed and manipulative. "We were going to pay you back. We just needed to make sure Saige got her dream trip first. You're so good with money. We knew you'd understand." I hung up. Max touched my shoulder. "Call your dad." Dad picked up immediately. "Princess." "Don't." My voice cracked. "Don't you dare call me that." "We just wanted to surprise Sage," he said, as if that explained everything. "You don't understand how much pressure she's been under." "And what about my pressure?" The words exploded out. "Working overtime, skipping vacations, eating ramen to save money. Did you think about that when you were booking 5-star hotels? That's different. You're stronger than—" "If you say I'm stronger than Saige, I swear to God." "We're going to pay you back," he interrupted. "Every penny. We had to prioritize her. Like always." I laughed, a harsh sound. "You know what's funny? I actually believed you were crying that night. Real tears. Over a fake emergency." "They weren't fake," he protested. "We were worried about disappointing Sage." Click. I couldn't listen anymore. My phone started buzzing with texts. "Mom, please understand. We love you both equally." Dad, "Princess, call me back. We can explain everything." Sage, "OMG, why are you being so dramatic? Mom and Dad said they're paying you back." I blocked them all. Max watched me, concerned. "What are you going to do?" I opened my laptop again, pulling up the email thread with my parents from that night. Their desperate plea. My immediate response. The transfer confirmation. "First," I said, "I'm calling Christine." "Your lawyer friend?" "Yeah. Because this wasn't just lying. They committed fraud. They got money under false pretenses. Are you sure you want to go there? They're your family. No. I turned to him, something cold and certain settling in my chest. Family doesn't do this. Family doesn't manipulate and steal and gaslight. This ends now. My phone buzzed again. A new Instagram post from Saj. Some people are just jealous of others' happiness. Blessed akust sak unbothered. I took a screenshot. More evidence. They thought I'd just accept this, I said, my voice steady now. They thought I'd be the good daughter and swallow it like every other time. But they forgot something. What's that? I opened my email and started composing a message to Christine. I work in finance. I document everything. And I'm done being the family ATM. Max squeezed my shoulder. What do you need? Witnesses, records, and a really good lawyer. I hit send on the email. They wanted to play favorites? Fine. Let's see how they like it when their strong daughter stops being so understanding. The reply from Christine came almost immediately. Come to my office first thing tomorrow. Bring everything. Game on. Christine's office smelled like leather and expensive coffee. She sat across from me, scanning through the screenshots I'd collected, her expression growing darker with each swipe. Let me get this straight, she said, setting down her tablet. They called you at 2 a.m. crying about imminent foreclosure and emergency repairs? Yes. But there were no repairs. None. She leaned back. And 2 days after you transferred the money, your sister was posting from Italy? Venice, specifically. I pulled up the timestamp. First-class tickets, according to her Instagram story. Christine started taking notes. Did they sign anything? Any acknowledgement of the loan? Dad texted me an IOU the next day. I showed her the message. We'll pay back every penny, princess. Promise. Good. That's something. She tapped her pen against the desk. But there's something else bothering me. Pull up your banking records from the past few years. I logged into my account while she called her assistant. Sarah, get me everything you can find on home equity lines for Parker and Desiree's address. 20 minutes later, Christine's face went rigid. Harper, look at this. She slid a document across the desk. A home equity line of credit application from 3 years ago. My signature was at the bottom. I never signed this, I said, staring at the familiar loops and curves. I would remember. Think carefully, Christine interrupted. Did they ever have you sign anything? Maybe a stack of papers? Insurance documents? The memory hit like a punch to the gut. Mom said, she said it was to add me to their life insurance. My hands started shaking. I was 26. They brought the papers to my apartment. Said it was just routine. Christine's jaw tightened. They forged your signature on some documents and had you unknowingly sign others. You're listed as a co-signer on a $150,000 home equity line. The room spun. What? They've been using it like a credit card. The balance is currently at $127,000. I barely made it to the trash can before throwing up. When I could breathe again, Christine handed me water. This changes everything, she said. This isn't just about the $27,000 anymore. This is fraud, identity theft, and financial abuse. I trusted them, I whispered. I know. Her voice softened. But now we fight back. First, we're filing a police report about the forged signatures. Then we're submitting a fraud claim to the bank. My phone buzzed. Mom again. Why aren't you answering? Family dinner on Sunday. We need to talk. Christine read the message over my shoulder. Perfect. Go to dinner. I stared at her. What? Go. Record everything. Get them talking about the money, the trip, the home equity line. Florida is a one-party consent state for recordings. You want me to spy on my family? I want you to gather evidence. She gripped my shoulders. Harper, listen to me. They've been playing you for years. using your love and guilt against you. It's time to stop being their victim and start being their worst nightmare. My phone buzzed again. Dad, your mother's crying. Is this what you want? Something hardened in my chest. Okay, what's the plan? Christine spent the next hour outlining strategy. File the police report today. Submit the fraud claim tomorrow. Go to dinner Sunday and record everything. Then, once we had it all documented, we destroy them, she said simply. Legally, financially, and socially. Saige posted another photo, I said, checking my phone. Some boutique hotel in Positano. Caption says, making memories with mom and dad's blessing. Screenshot it. Every post is evidence of how they spent your money. I looked at the growing file of documents, texts, and photos. They really thought I wouldn't fight back. That's their mistake. Christine started typing an email. I'm requesting an emergency hearing about the home equity line. We need to get your name off that loan before they can do more damage. They'll lose the house, I realized. They should have thought of that before they committed fraud. She paused. Are you having second thoughts? I thought about my empty savings account, about years of being the strong one while Sage got everything, about my signature on a loan I never knew existed. No, I said. No more second thoughts. Good. Christine handed me a small recording device. Because Sunday dinner is going to be very interesting. I slipped the recorder into my purse, a strange calm settling over me. What do I say to them? Nothing about the legal proceedings. Just let them talk. People reveal a lot when they think they're in control. As I left her office, my phone lit up with a new Instagram notification. Sage, on a yacht. Last day in paradise. So blessed to have parents who make dreams come true. I saved the post, added it to the evidence file, and smiled. Let them think they've won. Sunday was coming, and with it, the beginning of their nightmare. Sunday arrived with the weight of a funeral. I parked outside my parents' house, the recorder already running in my purse. Through the window, I could see Saiji showing off photos on her phone. Mom and Dad crowded around her like proud peacocks. Max squeezed my hand. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do. I touched the recorder. For every Christmas, I got practical gifts while Saige got designer bags. For every school trip I couldn't afford while she went to cheer camp. The front door opened before we reached it. Harper! Mom rushed forward, arms wide. We've missed you. I let her hug me, feeling nothing. Behind her, Saiji barely looked up from her phone. Finally decided to stop being dramatic? She asked, scrolling through photos. Dad emerged from the kitchen. Princess, come see the new... Don't call me that, I said quietly. The room froze. Mom recovered first. Dinner's almost ready. I made your favorite lasagna. Saigi's favorite, I corrected. Mine is chicken parmesan. Another awkward pause. Dad cleared his throat. Well, sit down. Saiji was just showing us pictures from the Amalfi Coast. Perfect. I sat positioning my purse carefully. Tell me about the trip, Saij. It looked expensive. Oh my God, it was amazing. She launched into a detailed description of every hotel, every restaurant, every tourist trap. The gondola ride alone was like 300 euros. Wow. I kept my voice neutral. That's quite a budget. How did you afford it? Mom's fork clattered against her plate. Harper. No, I'm genuinely curious. I smiled. I mean, you told me you were facing foreclosure, that the furnace was dead. Remember, Mom? You were crying? Saige looked up. What? They didn't tell you? I turned to her. They called me at 2 a.m. begging for money to save the house. I gave them my entire house fund. $27,000. I checked my phone. 2 days before your first post from Venice. The color drained from Mom's face. We were going to explain. When? I cut in. Before or after Saij posted about her dream vacation? Before or after I saw the receipts from Gucci? Dad stood up. That's enough. No, it's not. I pulled out my phone. Remember when Saiji crashed her car last year? You said you needed help with the insurance. $3,000. But according to her Instagram, that same week, she got a Chanel bag for her birthday. Saji shifted uncomfortably. That's different. Or sophomore year of college, I continued. When I had to co-sign for your student loans because mom and dad said they couldn't afford tuition? Funny, because they paid yours in full. You're stronger than your sister, Mom interjected. You've always been able to handle what? My voice cracked. Being lied to? Being stolen from? Being treated like an ATM while you pamper her? We love you both equally, Dad insisted. Really? I pulled up another screenshot. Is that why you opened a Saige's wedding fund account last year? $20,000 set aside for her future wedding while you were forging my signature on loan documents? The room went silent. Mom's face turned gray. How did you know about that? She whispered. I know everything. I stood up, hands steady. The home equity line you tricked me into co-signing. The credit cards you opened in my name when I was in college. Every lie, every manipulation, every time you chose her over me. Saig started crying. Right on cue. Mom rushed to comfort her. See what you've done? Dad growled. You're upsetting your sister. I laughed. A hollow sound. Of course. Protect precious Saig. Heaven forbid she face consequences. We were going to pay you back, Mom pleaded, still holding Saig. When? After the next vacation? The next shopping spree? I grabbed my purse. You know what the worst part is? I would have helped if you'd just been honest. I would have given Sage money for her trip if she'd asked. But you chose to lie, to manipulate, to steal. We didn't steal, Dad started. Save it for the judge. Mom's head snapped up. What? You heard me. I headed for the door, Max right behind me. Check your mail tomorrow. And Sage? I'd delete those Instagram posts if I were you. They're great evidence of fraud. You wouldn't, Mom gasped. We're family. I turned back one last time. Family doesn't steal from family. Family doesn't lie and manipulate and gaslight. You're not my family. You're just people who raised one daughter and used the other as a bank. As we drove away, my phone exploded with notifications. Mom begging me to come back. Dad threatening to disown me. Saga calling me jealous and cruel. I turned off my phone and touched the recorder in my purse. Did we get enough? Max nodded grimly. More than enough. Good. I watched my childhood home disappear in the rearview mirror. Because tomorrow, the real fun begins. Christine's office was buzzing with activity when I arrived Monday morning. 3 paralegals huddled around a computer, transcribing my dinner recording. Christine sat at her desk, phone pressed to her ear, nodding grimly. Yes, Your Honor, the evidence of fraud is substantial. She gestured for me to sit. We're requesting an emergency hearing. Yes, I understand. Thank you. She hung up and turned to me. The judge is seeing us tomorrow morning, but that's not why I called you in. She slid a folder across her desk. Look what we found. Inside were bank statements, loan applications, and property records going back 15 years. My hands started shaking as I read. They've been doing this for years, Christine said quietly. That college fund your grandmother left you? They drained it when you were 17. The money was transferred directly to Saiga's car dealership. The room tilted. What? There's more. Remember that summer job you had at 16? The checks were deposited into an account with your name on it. But look at the withdrawal patterns. I stared at the statements. Weekly withdrawals. Always the same amount. Always transferred to Saige's dance studio. They used my paychecks to pay for her ballet lessons? Christine nodded. And that's just what we've found so far. We're still digging. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Harper, it's Spencer, your cousin. We need to talk. I know things about your parents. I showed Christine the message. Call him, she said immediately. On speaker. Spencer answered on the first ring. Thank God you called. I've been carrying this guilt for years. What guilt? About your college fund. The real one, not the fake story they told you. My heart stopped. What do you mean? Your dad's brother, my father, was the executor of your grandmother's estate. There was a significant college fund set up for you, over $100,000. The room started spinning again. Christine grabbed my arm to steady me. What happened to it? I whispered. Your parents convinced my dad to release it to them early. Said they were investing it for your future. I found the paperwork in his office after he died. They used it for Saj's private school, her car, her spring break trips. Christine was already typing. We need those documents. I have them, Spencer said. All of them. Including the letters where your parents specifically instructed the money be kept secret from you. They said you'd make your own way because you were the responsible one. A laugh bubbled up, bitter and harsh. The responsible one. Their code for the one we can steal from. I'm so sorry, Harper. I should have told you years ago. Can you come to my office? Christine cut in. Today? I'm already in my car. After he hung up, I sat in silence, processing. $100,000. My grandmother's gift, stolen before I even knew it existed. My phone lit up with notifications. Saji had posted a new Instagram story, a tearful video about toxic family members and jealous siblings. The comments were flooding in, her followers attacking me without knowing the truth. Look at this, Christine said suddenly. She'd been digging through property records. Your parents took out a second mortgage last year. Guess what the money was labeled for? Let me guess. Sage's wedding? Close. Sage's future family fund. She looked up. They're underwater on both mortgages. The home equity line is maxed out, and they've been using your identity to open credit cards for years. I pulled out my phone and opened my banking app. The account that once held my house fund now showed a balance of $182.47. What happens now? Now? Christine smiled grimly. Now we go nuclear. The judge tomorrow will see evidence of long-term financial abuse. Spencer's documents prove premeditated fraud. The Instagram posts show exactly where your money went. They'll lose everything. They already lost everything that mattered. She touched my hand. They lost you. My phone buzzed again. Mom, please don't do this to us. We're your parents. Dad, you're making a huge mistake, Princess. Saj, thanks for ruining my life. Hope you're happy. I blocked them all, then looked at Christine. Do it. All of it. She nodded and pressed her intercom. Sarah, send in the paralegals. We're filing everything. As the team assembled, my phone lit up one last time. A text from Spencer. Almost there. Found more documents. They never planned to pay you back. Any of it. I took a deep breath and straightened my spine. Christine? Yes? Make it hurt. She smiled, sharp and determined. Oh, it will. Trust me, it will. Spencer arrived with a weathered cardboard box that smelled like old paper and betrayal. I found these in my dad's storage unit, he said, spreading documents across Christine's conference table, including this. He pulled out a small cassette tape. Dad recorded all his important conversations, including the one where your parents convinced him to release your college fund. Christine's eyes lit up. Is it dated? December 12th, 15 years ago. Spencer pressed play on an ancient recorder he'd brought. My father's voice filled the room. Look, Frank, we need access to Harper's fund now. Sage got into Brighton Prep, and the deposit is due next week. My uncle. That money is for Harper's college. Margaret's specifically. Harper will be fine, Mom's voice cut in. She's already talking about community college, working her way through school. She's not like Sage. She doesn't need the advantages. She doesn't need her own grandmother's money? Uncle Frank sounded skeptical. She'll make her own way, Dad insisted. She's always been independent. But Sage, she's different, sensitive, special. I gripped the table so hard my knuckles went white. Max, who'd been silent until now, wrapped an arm around my shoulders. "There's more," Spencer said quietly. He fast-forwarded through several conversations, each one more damning than the last. My parents planning to use my summer job money for Sage's dance lessons. Discussing how to hide their financial manipulations from me. Laughing about how I'd never know about the grandmother's fund. Christine's team was taking notes furiously. "This is better than we hoped," she said. "Clear evidence of premeditated fraud spanning years." Wait. Spencer pulled out one last envelope. This is the worst part. Inside was a letter, dated just 3 months ago. My mother's handwriting. "Dear Sage, the house will be yours when the time comes. We've arranged everything so Harper can't contest it. She doesn't deserve it anyway. She's never appreciated family the way you do. Besides, she'll be fine on her own. She always is. Love, Mom." The room went silent. Even Christine looked shocked. "They were planning to write me out completely," I whispered. "After everything they took from me." "There's something else you should know," Spencer said. "Last Thanksgiving, I overheard them talking about your house fund. They never intended to pay you back. They were counting on you feeling too guilty to demand it." My phone buzzed. A group text from Mom to the extended family. "Our dear Harper has turned against us. She's trying to destroy our family with false accusations. Please pray for her troubled soul." The responses poured in. Aunts and uncles taking sides, cousins choosing teams, my parents' carefully crafted narrative spreading like poison. That's it. I stood up, something cold and certain settling in my chest. I'm done being quiet. I opened my laptop and started typing. "Dear Reddit, I need to tell you how my parents stole my future to fund my sister's dreams." Max read over my shoulder. "Are you sure about this? They want to control the narrative," I kept typing. "Let's see how their story holds up against bank statements and recorded confessions." Christine nodded approvingly. "The truth is your best weapon now." I wrote everything. The midnight call, the fake emergency, the Italian vacation, the stolen college fund, the forged documents, the years of manipulation, the recorded proof. "Add the screenshots," Spencer suggested. "Show them Saiga's Instagram post next to your bank transfers." I did. Then I added the final blow. A photo of my mother's letter about the house inheritance. Should I post it? My cursor hovered over the submit button. "Do it," Christine said. "Let the court of public opinion see exactly who they are." I clicked submit. Within hours, the post exploded. Thousands of comments. Shares across multiple platforms. People tagging Sage's Instagram business account. Local news starting to sniff around. My phone erupted with notifications. Family members who'd sided with my parents suddenly changing their tune. Distant relatives sharing their own stories of my parents' manipulation. Sage's followers turning against her. Mom's text came through. "What have you done? Take it down immediately." Dad, "You've destroyed our reputation." Sage, "My sponsorships are canceling. I hate you." I blocked them all again, then turned to Christine. "What's next?" She smiled, sharp and satisfied. "Tomorrow we go to court." "Tonight?" She gestured at my viral Reddit post, now being shared by major news outlets. "Tonight, we let them sweat." Spencer touched my shoulder. "I should have spoken up years ago. I'm sorry. Don't be." I watched the view count climb on my post. "You helped me deliver the final blow." My phone buzzed one last time. A message from an investigative reporter. "Would you be willing to tell your story on camera?" I looked at Christine. She nodded. "Yes," I typed back. "I have proof of everything." The truth was finally coming out, and it was going to burn their world to the ground. The courthouse steps were crowded with reporters. My Reddit post had gone viral overnight, spawning hashtags and TikTok reactions. Shiny family fraud and golden child scam were trending. "Ms. Harper," a reporter thrust a microphone toward me. "Is it true your parents stole your inheritance?" Christine stepped in front of me. "My client will make a statement after the hearing." Inside, my parents and Sage huddled with their lawyer. Mom's carefully styled hair couldn't hide her pale, drawn face. Dad wouldn't meet my eyes. Sage was frantically scrolling through her phone, probably watching her follower count plummet. "All rise," the bailiff called. Judge Martinez studied the documents before her, her expression growing darker with each page. "Let me be clear," she said finally. "You took out loans in your daughter's name without her knowledge, drained her inheritance, and used her savings for a luxury vacation for your other daughter?" My parents' lawyer stood. "Your Honor, this is a family matter that's been blown out of proportion." "I'm looking at bank records spanning 15 years, the judge cut in. "This isn't a family squabble. This is systematic financial abuse." Mom burst into tears. Right on cue. "Your Honor," she sobbed, "we only wanted to give our daughters the best." "One daughter," the judge corrected. "You stole from one to spoil the other. The documentation is quite clear." Christine stood. "We have audio evidence, Your Honor." She played the tapes. My parents' voices filled the courtroom, plotting to steal my college fund, laughing about how I'd never know. Mom's sobs got louder with each damning recording. "Turn it off!" Dad suddenly shouted. "Fine, we did it. Is that what you want to hear?" The courtroom went silent. "We took her money," he continued, his voice breaking. "We used her inheritance for Sage's school. We forged her signature. We lied about the house repairs. We did it all." "Why?" The judge's voice was ice. "Because we could." He was shouting now. "Because she never complained. Because she always figured things out on her own. Because Sage needed—" "Enough." Judge Martinez's gavel cracked like thunder. "I've heard enough." She shuffled her papers, then looked directly at my parents. "The court finds clear and convincing evidence of fraud, identity theft, and financial abuse. The defendant, Harper, is to be removed from all fraudulent accounts. The home equity line of credit will be investigated for criminal charges." She paused. "Furthermore, I'm issuing an emergency injunction freezing all your assets pending a criminal investigation." Mom collapsed against Dad. Sage started crying. "But where will we live?" she wailed. "Perhaps," the judge said coldly. "You should have thought of that before participating in your parents' fraud. Your Instagram posts will make excellent evidence for the prosecution." Christine stood. "Your Honor, we also request full restitution." "Granted. The defendants will repay all stolen funds, including the inheritance, with interest." She looked at my parents. "I'm also referring this case to the district attorney. Financial abuse is still abuse." Outside, the reporters were waiting. This time, I stepped forward. "My parents stole my inheritance, my savings, and my trust," I said clearly into the microphones. "They did it to fund my sister's luxurious lifestyle. Today, justice was served." "Harper, please!" Mom pushed through the crowd. "We're still your parents." I turned to face her, cameras rolling. "No. Parents protect their children. They don't steal from them. They don't forge their signatures. They don't laugh about betraying them." "But we love you." She reached for me. I stepped back. "You love what you could take from me. That's not the same thing." Sage shoved forward. "You've ruined everything. My followers, my sponsorships. Your free ride is over," I cut in. "Welcome to the real world, sis. Better start saving." Christine guided me through the media frenzy to her car. My phone was exploding with messages. Support from strangers, apologies from family members who'd ignored the signs for years. A new notification popped up. Sage's Luxury Life Instagram account has been deactivated. They'll probably lose the house, Christine said as we drove away. The criminal charges alone. Good. I watched the courthouse disappear in the rearview mirror. They chose this. What will you do now? I thought about the judge's restitution order, about the inheritance that would finally be mine, about the house fund I could rebuild. I'm going to live my life, I said, without their lies, without their manipulation, without their guilt. My phone buzzed one last time. A text from Dad. You've destroyed this family. I typed back 3 words. No, you did. Then I blocked his number, turned off my phone, and watched the sun set on the day justice finally won. The golden child's reign was over. And my life? It was just beginning. The keys to my new condo felt heavy in my hand. Not a mansion, not even a house, just a modest 2-bedroom with good bones and potential. But it was mine, bought with the restitution money and free from any family strings. Last box, Max said, setting it down in the kitchen. Ready to celebrate? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. Christine. Turn on Channel 7, she said without preamble. They're covering the sentencing. I flipped on the TV. There were my parents leaving the courthouse. The headline scrolled, Local couple sentenced in family fraud case, 6 months house arrest, 5 years probation, full restitution required. They're selling the house, Christine continued. It goes on the market tomorrow. Where will they live? A rental, 1-bedroom apartment. She paused. Seiji moved to Arizona. Apparently, she's trying to rebuild her influencer career under a new name. I switched off the TV. Good luck with that. The internet never forgets. Speaking of which, your Reddit post hit 1 million views. People are calling it the family fraud saga that changed how we talk about financial abuse. Max opened a bottle of champagne, the pop echoing through my empty new living room. To justice, he said, handing me a glass. And boundaries, I added. My phone lit up again. A message from Spencer. Found more tapes. Want them? No, I typed back. I have everything I need. Christine was still talking. The DA wants to use your case as a precedent for other financial abuse cases. Would you be willing to... A knock at the door cut her off. Through the peephole, I saw Mom. I have to go, I told Christine, then turned to Max. I need to do this alone. He squeezed my hand and disappeared into the bedroom. I opened the door. Mom looked smaller somehow, her designer clothes replaced with department store basics. Harper, she whispered, please. Why are you here? We're selling the house. I thought, maybe you'd want some of your old things? I don't want anything from that house. She pulled out a small box. Not even this? Inside was my childhood journal. The one with the entry about being strong, while Seiji was sensitive. I read it, she said. All of it. Every entry where you wrote about feeling less loved, less valued. Her voice cracked. We did that to you. We made our daughter feel worthless. Save the tears, Mom. The cameras aren't here. I deserve that. She set the box down. I deserve all of it. The shame, the bankruptcy, losing our home. She met my eyes. Losing you. You didn't lose me, I said quietly. You sold me. Piece by piece, dollar by dollar. Can we ever fix this? I thought about the tapes, the stolen inheritance, the forged documents, the years of lies. No, I said finally. Some things can't be fixed. They can only be finished. She nodded slowly. Your father wanted to come, but he's under house arrest. Yes. She turned to leave, then stopped. Saige asked about you. Let me guess. She needs money? Mom flinched. She's struggling. Her sponsors all dropped her. Her followers? Welcome to consequences. I started closing the door. Goodbye, Mom. Harper, wait. She pulled out an envelope. Your grandmother, she left you a letter with the college fund. We hid this too. I'm sorry. I took the envelope, unopened after all these years. I hope someday, she started. Don't. I met her eyes one last time. Just don't. After she left, I opened my laptop and started typing. Dear Reddit, you followed my story of family fraud and favoritism. Here's the final chapter. Justice doesn't always mean reconciliation. Sometimes it means learning to live without the people who hurt you. Max emerged from the bedroom. You okay? Better than okay. I showed him my grandmother's letter. Inside was a simple message. Dear Harper, remember, your strength is not an excuse for their weakness. Love, Grandma Margaret. I pinned the letter to my new condo's wall. My first decoration, my phone buzzed. A text from Christine. DA's office called. They're opening 3 similar cases thanks to your story. You started something important. I looked around my new home. Empty, but full of possibility. No guilt, no manipulation, no golden child casting shadows. Just me, my truth, and a future I could finally call my own. I added one last line to my Reddit post. P.S. To anyone being financially abused by family, your strength isn't their ATM. Your independence isn't their excuse. Your story matters. Tell it. Then I closed my laptop, picked up my champagne, and toasted to new beginnings. Some family trees need pruning to grow stronger. I'd cut away the rot, and now I could finally bloom.